We all have some books that are in our collection that we just really like to see presented. I like to present my books on the walls of my comic book room. Stay tuned to see what books I'm sending off to CGC next. Hey YouTube, it's Matt here, and I'm getting ready to send some books off to CGC. I haven't sent any books, well that's not true. I have sent one book off within the last year. It's been a while. My last two books, I sent a Conan the Barbarian #1 to get signed by the great Roy Thomas. And speaking of Roy Thomas, I sent off a Savage Tales #1 that I had him sign in front of me at a comic book convention. But that book's a magazine. I sent it off to be pressed, cleaned, and graded. And according to CGC's own turnaround times, that book might be off for another 2 years from now, even though I sent it off in September of 2021. But I'm not here to complain about CGC. I like CGC. I send my books off there. I like how they present. I like how that they will keep value forward. Now, not every book that I have do I really care about the value. I mean, obviously, if I have a book and it's been in a collection and it's worth $1 or $10,000, you know what I would rather have. But that's not why I'm a collector. I'm a collector because I enjoy the medium. I enjoy the art form. I enjoy the the writing in my personal reading. But that's what I like about comic books. There are people out there that just don't like slab comic books. And you know what? That personal opinion is absolutely valid. Nothing wrong with that. This is one of those hobbies where it's very intrinsic. It's very personal. It does not have to be any which way you want it. You can make it how you want it. Slab books, don't slab books, who cares? But you know what? I like to slab books. I like how they display on the wall. Okay. Now, without further ado, I'm actually going to do 2 shipments. Now, for CGC, it is best if you keep books in the same grading tier together. They're less likely to get lost. They're less likely to get misplaced. Not that they won't find them eventually, but there are stories out there of them not being able to find a book for a few months because it was with a different grade tier. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm sending off some Silver Age books. There's a handful of Bronze Age books in here. So hopefully they do stay together, but anyhow. And then I have another tier, which I'll talk about at the end, okay? Now, one of the first books that I'm going to send off is this Jack Kirby, Daredevil, #43. I just absolutely love this dynamic cover. I just think that Jack Kirby just has a way of putting on a 2-dimensional image an action shot, okay? So this book, I cannot wait to see that on a wall. And here is another super good book that I just love to see. This is Hulk 105. This is a very iconic cover. The Immortal Hulk #1 was the cover on that, the A cover, was an homage to this Hulk 105 from 1968. Now, another book I want to send off is Amazing Spider-Man 15, the first appearance of Kraven. I'm looking forward to seeing this up there. Now, all these books that I'm going to send down there, I press them. Now, cleaning, I'll be honest, I'm not the best cleaner. I did actually take my time and try to clean a Tomb of Dracula #10. This would have been in 2020. Well, I'm not going to lie to you. I messed up. That was my big mistake in my pressing and grading. I ended up accidentally detaching the cover from the staples. That being said, trust me, there was maybe a thread of paper holding it onto that staple. I didn't completely rip it off, but that was a mistake of mine in my early pressing and grading. Or pressing and cleaning. So I'm kind of staying away from the cleaning part. The pressing I feel confident in. And I will press these Silver Age, some are Bronze Age books, and I won't have a problem doing that. But I'm going to stay away from cleaning. So none of these books aren't super high grade. In fact, some of them are quite low grade, but who cares? These are classic books. Now, this is the first appearance of Rhino. I am sending this book off. This is Amazing Spider-Man number 41. And this book, okay, I'm having reservations about sending this book off. This is Amazing Spider-Man 42. I actually think it presents very well. I think the grade's not going to be as bad as I'm maybe fearing. But why I don't want to give this away, to me, this has one of the most iconic pictures and panels in all of comic books. This is a first appearance, facial appearance of Mary Jane Watson. She's knocking on Peter Parker's door, and he's dreading. They're getting ready for a date, and he's dreading it because his aunt really set him up with this girl that he doesn't know. He opens the door, and there's a stunner on the other side, and all she says is, "Face it, Tagger, you just hit the jackpot." Now, guys, I know that's kind of silly, but I kind of like looking at that little bit of comic book history. Remember what I said, some people don't like to slab comic books. Well, that's kind of one of the reasons why you can't really look at this. That being said, and I've talked about it in this channel before, I really don't read my floppies. I read a lot of comic books, but I read them digitally. I end up putting them on my tablet, and I read them that way. And so I can read a lot of books that I don't personally own the floppies, right here in the collection. And so I can expand my reading without actually having to buy. Some of these books are quite expensive, but there's still a little bit of truth that I kind of like seeing that, opening it up and, looking at a little piece of comic book history. And whenever I met my wife in college, she absolutely reminded me of Mary Jane. So there's a kind of a reason that I like being able to see that. Speaking of Mary Jane, this is Amazing Spider-Man number 59. This is the first cover appearance of Mary Jane Watson. And to keep with the ASM theme, I got a few ASM books that I want to send off. This one, 69, I just absolutely love this Kingpin cover. This is just a good John Romita art right here. Now, I think this is my last Amazing Spider-Man I'm going to send off. This is 129. Now, guys, this book, I pressed this about a year ago. And I noticed something that was on it that I'd never really seen before. It has a signature in the back cover of Shane O'Brien. Shane O'Brien, I don't know you, but he signed my comic book. I'm assuming he was an owner, a kid at the time when he bought this. I don't really know that. So if you're Shane O'Brien and you're missing an Amazing Spider-Man 129, please reach out to me. Let me know. I want to hear stories about this book. Another Silver Age book. Okay, and like I said, some of those are Bronze Age. This is definitely a Bronze Age book, but the rest of them were silver. Here's a classic first appearance of Silver Surfer. Now this one, the cover is actually split on this, but this is the best looking, going to be low grade copy of this Fantastic Four number 48. The cover just displays so very well, but it's not attached to the staples, and the cover is actually split right along the seam, so it's going to get a low grade. And speaking of low grade, here is my copy of Marvel Spotlight number 5, which is the first appearance of Johnny Blaze, the Ghost Rider. A great book, comic book history. I've had this displaying on my wall in a raw form for years, but I'm ready to send this off and put it in a slab. Now, those are one group of books that I'm going to send off, and they're going to be one tier. But there's another group of books that I'm sending off for a really cool purpose. That is a J. Scott Campbell in-house signing down at CGC. Now, J. Scott Campbell has so many great covers and so much great art that is out there, but 3 of my favorite. And guys, if you're noticing, I'm sticking with this Amazing Spider-Man theme. I am sending this copy of Amazing Spider-Man 601. I think, and I'm not the only person out there that thinks that is an incredible cover. Great art. Then there is Amazing Spider-Man 606, another J. Scott Campbell classic. And one more, 607. So I'm going to send those books off to the in-house private signing at CGC. The rest of them, I'm going to press them and get them shipped out there. It might be a month before I get the books that I'm pressing sent out because I'm going to press them here before I send them out. But guys, I hope you like this video. If you do, hit that thumbs up, put a comment down below, and don't forget to hit that subscription button. I want to thank everybody for watching, and you have a great day.